The year was 1996. Christmas had arrived in Boulder, Colorado, but inside a seemingly perfect home, a nightmare was about to unfold. 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey, a beauty queen in the making, was gone. Her absence would soon send shockwaves across the nation. The mystery deepened when her lifeless body was discovered in the basement of her own home. What started as a missing child case quickly transformed into a murder investigation. A ransom note left behind in the family home demanded a peculiar sum of money. Suspicions fell on those closest to the young girl, casting a long shadow over the investigation. This is the story of JonBenét Ramsey, a story of innocence lost, of a family torn apart, and of a mystery that even today remains unsolved. JonBenét Ramsey was more than just a pretty face. She was a bundle of energy, a charismatic child who loved to sing and dance. Her world was filled with pageants where her blonde curls and infectious smile charmed the judges. Her parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, were prominent figures in Boulder. John, a successful businessman, and Patsy, a former beauty queen herself, doted on their children. They projected an image of success and happiness, a family living the American dream. But behind the facade of perfection, cracks began to appear. The pressure of the pageant world and the dynamics within the family painted a more complex picture. The morning after Christmas, a chill ran down Patsy Ramsey's spine. Her daughter JonBenét was nowhere to be found. Panic surged through her as she frantically searched the house. It was then that she discovered a chilling message, a ransom note demanding a hefty sum for JonBenét's safe return. Frantic, Patsy and John Ramsey contacted the authorities, their opulent home transformed into a crime scene. The investigation began, a race against time to find the missing child. But as hours passed, a sense of dread began to creep in. The search came to a horrifying end in the quiet confines of the Ramsey basement. There, in a small room, lay JonBenét's lifeless body. The little beauty queen was gone, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable sadness and a mystery that would haunt the nation. The investigation into JonBenét's murder was from the outset mired in controversy. The crime scene, the Ramsey home, was not immediately secured. Friends and family moved freely throughout the house, potentially contaminating crucial evidence. The ransom note, too, raised red flags. Its length, the specific amount of money demanded, all seemed unusual, leading some investigators to believe it was staged. Suspicions swirled. The finger of blame initially pointed towards an intruder. Yet there were no signs of forced entry, no footprints in the snow outside the house. The lack of concrete evidence created a breeding ground for speculation and doubt. The Ramseys, once the grieving parents, became persons of interest. Their behavior, their seemingly rehearsed media appearances, and inconsistencies in their accounts fueled public suspicion. Despite the efforts of the Boulder Police Department and the FBI, the case remained unsolved. The ransom note, found by Patsy Ramsey on that fateful morning, became a focal point of the investigation. Written on a notepad from the Ramsey home, it was unusually long and filled with dramatic language. The writer, claiming to represent a small foreign faction, demanded a specific sum of money, $118,000. The note itself was rife with inconsistencies. Handwriting analysis proved inconclusive, failing to definitively link the writing to either parent. The amount of money demanded was strangely specific, mirroring a bonus John Ramsey had received earlier that year. These details fueled suspicions that the note was staged. Adding to the intrigue, the note contained details about JonBenét's case that had not been publicly released. Was it a genuine plea from a kidnapper or a carefully crafted fabrication meant to throw investigators off the scent? The truth behind its authorship, much like the truth behind JonBenét's murder, remained elusive. As the investigation into JonBenét's murder stalled, the spotlight turned towards the Ramsey family. Their behavior, scrutinized under the harsh glare of the media, raised eyebrows and fueled speculation. Patsy, in particular, became a target of public suspicion. Her background as a former beauty queen, her seemingly rehearsed demeanor during interviews, and her initial reluctance to cooperate fully with the police painted a picture of guilt in the minds of many. John Ramsey, too, faced his share of scrutiny. His wealth, his perceived influence in the community, and inconsistencies in his accounts cast a shadow of doubt over his innocence. The media, hungry for a sensational story, amplified every whisper, every suspicion. The Ramseys, once a symbol of success and happiness, became pariahs. Despite the intense scrutiny and public pressure, no charges were ever filed against John or Patsy Ramsey. The cloud of suspicion, however, lingered, fueled by the lack of a definitive answer. While suspicion initially centered around the Ramsey family, investigators also explored other possibilities. Could an intruder have been responsible for JonBenét's death? The lack of forced entry posed a challenge to this theory. One theory focused on the possibility of a pedophile operating in the area. JonBenét's participation in beauty pageants raised concerns about her vulnerability. However, despite extensive investigations, no credible evidence emerged linking a known pedophile to JonBenét's murder. Another theory suggested that JonBenét's death might have been accidental. Some speculated that she had been accidentally killed by a family member. Despite exploring numerous leads and pursuing various theories, investigators were unable to definitively determine who was responsible for JonBenét's death. Years turned into a decade, and still JonBenét's case remained unsolved. The trail had gone cold, the initial flurry of media attention fading into the background. The Boulder Police Department, despite their best efforts, seemed no closer to finding answers. Despite the lack of progress, hope flickered. Advances in DNA technology offered a glimmer of possibility. The evidence, carefully preserved from the crime scene, could hold the key to unlocking the mystery. Perhaps, with new technology, the truth could finally be revealed. The Ramsey family, forever marked by tragedy, continued to seek answers. They cooperated with investigators, offered rewards, and pleaded publicly for any information that could lead to the arrest and conviction of their daughter's killer. The search for answers, though challenging, remained a testament to the enduring hope for justice. In the early 2000s, a glimmer of hope emerged from the darkness. Advances in DNA technology allowed investigators to re-examine the evidence collected from the crime scene. A DNA profile belonging to an unknown male was discovered on JonBenét's clothing and under her fingernails. Could this be the breakthrough they had been waiting for? The discovery of the DNA evidence injected renewed vigor into the investigation. Law enforcement agencies across the country compared the profile to their databases, hoping for a match. Thousands of potential suspects were investigated, their DNA compared to the unknown profile, yet despite their best efforts, the DNA evidence yielded no conclusive results. The DNA profile, while providing a tantalizing clue, also raised more questions. Who did the DNA belong to? Was it the killer, or was it simply the result of accidental contamination? Despite the setback, the DNA evidence remained a crucial piece of the puzzle. Today, more than 2 decades after that tragic Christmas, the murder of JonBenét Ramsey remains unsolved. The case, once a media frenzy, has faded from the headlines, but the quest for justice continues. The Boulder Police Department, while acknowledging the challenges, maintains that the case is still open and actively investigated. New leads are pursued, however faint they may be. Investigators remain hopeful that someone, somewhere, holds the missing piece of the puzzle. Perhaps a witness will come forward with new information, or a technological breakthrough will finally provide the definitive answer. The Ramsey family, forever haunted by the loss of their daughter, continues to advocate for justice. Their unwavering commitment serves as a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, the pursuit of truth and justice must never cease. The case of JonBenét Ramsey stands as a chilling reminder of the complexities of human nature and the limitations of our justice system. JonBenét Ramsey's life, though tragically cut short, continues to resonate. Her story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of innocence and the devastating impact of violence. Her image, frozen in time as a bright-eyed 6-year-old, continues to capture the public's imagination. The mystery surrounding her death has sparked countless debates about the nature of truth and the role of media in high-profile cases. It has forced us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own vulnerabilities. JonBenét's legacy, however, extends beyond the tragedy of her death. It serves as a testament to the enduring power of hope and the unwavering pursuit of justice. Though the mystery of JonBenét Ramsey's murder may never be definitively solved, her impact on our collective consciousness remains undeniable.